Washington. You know her as the voice of Princess Allura, Kimberly Brooks. Taylor-Klaus. Shiro himself, Josh Keaton. And Lance, Jeremy Shada.
How's everybody doing?
Good morning.
So hey, before we get started, Lauren and I wanted to take a moment here to address some very, very understandably, hurt reactions to specifically the Shiro and Adam storyline, season 7.
Yeah.
Well, we want to because we really do empathize with everybody's reaction. I want to let you guys know that we, with the exception of a few sort of crazy eyes, really do feel for you.
So we clearly can't change what's already happened, but we want you to know that this experience has stirred conversation about what meaningful representation is. And we hope that this leads to better representation in the future. But we did want to take this moment to just say how proud we are of our crew who has worked so hard, our amazing cast who has brought so much life to these characters over the past 4 years just to bring this show to you guys. And a huge thank you to all of the fans who have just showered us with so much love and support. This is for you, and
We love you guys. So, with all of that, we want this, our final New York Comic Con, our final con, really, of the entire series. It's bittersweet, but we want this to be a celebration of everybody's hard work, like a really awesome look back at what came before this, and an awesome look forward to the final season of a show that we're so proud to be a part of and so proud to have had you guys along for the ride with. We love you guys. Water's down. Water's staying down.
Guys, I gotta ask, obviously, this being your last New York Comic Con, this is not your first New York Comic Con. And I feel like every time that you guys show up on stage, it's a bigger and bigger stage. What has it been like for you, going through the years and just, getting to this point? Like, what does it really feel like for you?
I mean, it's been amazing for us. We were there at the very, we keep saying it, but our line producer, Benjamin Kaltenecker, right here. He rolled out a schedule for us when we first started this, and I remember looking at the year 2018 and just thinking, like, that's the future. That's never gonna come.
We'll be working on this show forever.
Yeah.
My kids will be 20 by then. I had a 3-year-old, and now they're gonna be 20.
So yeah.
Back in 2014 when we started.
2014. And it's just been awesome. I mean, look at this crowd. You guys are amazing, and it's grown every single year. You guys are just the best.
Yeah, it's weird being, in your office alone, or, maybe the 3 of us or the 5 of us with the writers, and it's just, maybe this story will work, maybe this will work, and then, you come to Comic-Con and people start to cheer because they love a moment so much, and it's just like, it's so different when you're alone by yourself, and then when you're here with this awesome crowd of people, and it just makes it hard to
Yeah, it invigorates you. You guys got anything from the sort of, voice actor's perspective?
It's been amazing. I don't want to speak for everybody, but I think that we probably all feel the same way. It's been amazing meeting all of you. It's been incredible seeing the talent that is just peppered throughout the fandom. I mean, we see so many amazing cosplays, so much incredible art, videos, everything. You guys really dove into this show, and we love it. I mean, we're just as much fans as all of you, and we love sharing this show with all of you. It's been a fantastic experience. I'm sad that it's kind of towards the end. So
You don't get to be a part of many Voltrons in your career, and so it's been a blessing to be a part of this show specifically because of you guys. And it's like you put in. I know everybody here puts in so much hard work into their craft and what they do, but so many things you put in a lot of hard work into, and you think are great, and then just kind of does its thing. There's not really that big of a. You don't know what's gonna do well and what's not gonna do well, but this show definitely did very, very well, and that's all because of you guys and your passion and dedication. It means the world to us. So big thanks to all of you, and I think there's like more people cosplaying as characters in the audience than there aren't. So,
I love going to these cons, and I love looking at everybody cosplaying and pretending in my head that Voltron is real, and like this is now some planet
is totally
has like I'm at Spaceball. And y'all are just like actually what you're really cosplaying as, but like in real life. And
I'm
I
gonna
like
make
having
it
fans.
a little bit more selfish for a second.
Yes.
But I've always wanted to play a cartoon character, and so this was very literally a dream come true to not only play a cartoon character, but to play a powerful female warrior. And it's been so amazing to watch how much that, among everything else in the show, has resonated with the fans, and how much it's meant for young kids to see themselves in Pidge and in Allura. It's just been the most heartwarming experience.
It's been amazing. And we have become such good friends.
Yeah.
And just, I don't know, this is really bittersweet because I'm very sad that this is our last convention, but it's been amazing, and I'm really happy to be here.
we're gonna all go out and have dinner tonight and stuff too. So
Oh yeah, no, we're gonna be in New York.
Yeah.
Yeah, it'd be great.
By the way,
Voltron
Bex,
fan.
I just have to say, Bex, in your audition, you came in a Batman onesie, I believe. Which was amazing. Like,
Pidge's Batman.
Yes.
Of course.
This episode, many
Nice. Guys, season 7 was a big one. You guys basically, like, it felt like you pulled out all the stops and just, went really nuts with it. Can you talk to us a bit about, one from like a story perspective, what your approach was, but also, for you guys getting into sort of the mind space of your characters, knowing what was coming up for season 7.
For me, when we started thinking about season 7, it was putting our paladins at disadvantage, right? So they had beaten Zarkon, they'd beaten, Lotor, and thank you. What's that guy's name with that?
Beautiful mane of hair.
So when we kind of came up with this 3 years had gone by, it was like right when we thought of that, it was like, okay, this is great. Because so much in the universe can happen and puts our guys at a disadvantage. And then, all these stories about kind of going home and, Hunk with his family kind of sprung up naturally from that. There's a story about Allura. It's kind of subtle, but Allura lost Altea, and now she has a chance to sort of redeem herself and help save Earth. So, a lot of these really personal moments kind of started to pop out when we kind of got this new angle. And so so I think, starting with this 3-year time jump really helped us. And I think that's how we started coming up.
I mean, it was cool too seeing like sort of fan build up to getting the Paladins back home and meeting their families and knowing for us from a story perspective that it was coming down the line, and then seeing everything sort of get to that fever pitch point. It was a really neat payoff to see it all kind of play out. Yeah.
And then there's just the insane logistics of that whole big Galra attack at the end, and we're like, and then there's the Zyforge cannons, but can they shoot? Can they curve their beams? What do? They bounce off the plates. What do they do with the plates? They're gonna move the plates. It was a whole friggin' thing.
Joaquin kept coming in and going, I just think something needs to be different about this. And the writers would go off, me and Mitch and Eric Bogue would like kind of go on walks going, how are we making these Zyforge cannons still work? And we go pitch it again.
Gigantic plates.
Yeah.
I mean, that's how you do it.
It was a massive headache, but it turned out, like, we're pretty happy with how it turned out. Pretty suspenseful, never a dull moment.
I liked also that we got to stay on Earth for a little bit. We knew that it was, it had at least 7 episodes, and so that kind of gave us a lot of time to meet some new people and explore like our characters' emotions, but also we got to come up with the MFE pilots, which we really enjoy kind of cracking who they were and how they're individual. Kincaid and Razavi and Life's daughter was, really fun, the way she speaks, the way she thinks. And so, having this time to play in one place was really fun and made me very happy to do.
Also for us, we're happy that you guys had AJ play Griffin in there, because AJ,
We don't want to see Lotor go.
AJ obviously plays Lotor, and we love him. We had so much fun through the whole last season of him playing Lotor that was like, oh no, he's not going to be like around anymore. But then they brought in Griffin, and we're like, yes, he's still in the booth.
Yes.
Honestly, those were my favorite episodes of season 7, were the episodes where we got to experience what was happening on Earth while we were gone. It was everything that I wanted to see, and nothing that I got to see in the scripts, because we weren't there.
Yeah. Those were all surprises for us.
Right, and the hunk love I thought was amazing because he's so lovable, and we had to see where, where he was inspired, to cook, do all the things that he does, and why he's such a cool guy.
He proved himself as like the heart of the team.
It was just crazy also for a show of this nature that's like, action adventure and big explosions and robots punching, to take 2 episodes and just focus on sort of the logistics of what's going on back on Earth while madness is happening.
Yeah, a lot of meetings for
a lot of meetings for like what's ostensibly just a kids show. God.
Throw it away.
Water's going.
Get it out of here.
Out of there.
So was there ever an opportunity to, you guys mentioned the time you spent on Earth was a...
That water sorry. I think I actually ruined something.
There a fine balance between how much time do you spend on Earth. Was there ever a consideration, at one point to spend more time, or was this sort of always the plan for you guys?
I mean, it went back and forth. There's obviously a relationship that happens from the executive level onto us, onto the artists, onto the writers, onto the performers. But there's a certain level of worry. There's worry that came from Lauren and I, like, are we going to be able to pull off spending that much time without seeing Voltron punch something, or but we knew it was the right decision, and as we were sort of reading the scripts as they came in, it just felt right. And ultimately, I think that's been the testament to the show, is that just going with your gut and doing what feels right.
Nice. Guys, I'll throw some to the cast. We're gonna go through some clips later. You guys, is there like a standout moment for you guys? Was there a standout moment for you guys in, over the course of season 7 that basically you're gonna look back on and be like, that's one of my favorite moments?
In season 7?
Yeah.
Oh gosh. I mean, we knew that the Atlas was going to be a thing through the scripts, but I didn't know what it was going to look like or anything like that. So then watching it back,
Atlas is thick.
the day it came, Atlas got a nice big booty. It's a thick robot.
Dropping it down on the Earth. Bang.
That's all you had to
I
say.
need that workout routine, okay?
The day that it came out, I think it was you that either texted in a group chat or something. It was like, Atlas is thick.
I had that saved in my tweet drafts for a long time.
It was great. That probably was one of my favorite episodes. I mean, I'm biased, obviously, because I wanted Shiro to have everything coming to him that he deserves, and I love how when everything was falling apart and everybody was looking to him to leave. And those were actually words in the stage directions that I remembered, and I remember even when I was just reading the script, it made me swell up with pride. I was like, this is amazing. He's everybody that didn't believe him when he came back, everybody that strapped him to the gurney and didn't want to listen to him about Voltron is now looking to him to save them.
The minute Karan calls him captain.
Yes! It's good. It's good stuff.
Get chills thinking about it.
It's great. No, that was one of the moments. And then when he finally makes that connection and is able to transform the ship, I knew that was going to happen. I had no idea what it was going to look like. I didn't know what the Atlas was going to look like when it transformed. And so, you know how you're watching something that you think is going to be awesome, you've already seen it, and so you're watching your friend's reaction to it because you want to see them, you want to experience it through them. Well, my wife and I were watching it, and I knew the Atlas was about to transform, And I wanted so bad to look and watch her so I could see her face while she was watching, and I couldn't take my eyes off the screen. So I missed her whole reaction because I was like, this is ridiculous. This is amazing. Yeah, that was the Atlas.
We got Eugene Lee, our director, who boarded that whole Atlas trip. It was incredible.
You guys want to see some of season 8, right? Not yet.
Much later.
He got me just warbled the audio, and I was like, "We're ready, let's go."
Guys,
We're so good at trolling people on Voltron.
it's been 2.5 years, 60 episodes. You guys have done it all with this crew. We're gonna look back. Jeremy, I think we're gonna do yours first. What about this moment makes it special for you?
Oh yeah, so the one that we're about to show from our favorite moments. This one is one of my favorites because I think it's the first episode. It's very, very early on, and I think this one's special to me because I think this might have been one of my audition scenes actually.
Oh, nice.
But it was one of the first scenes where you really kind of get a little bit of Lance's personality, and it was just I love these little moments like you're about to see where he's just very kind of funny, but he still has like this goal, and he's still such like a loyal person. But he's just such a goofball, and I just like this scene when we were recording it too. I was like, okay, I get the character now. Like this sets the tone for what I want to do with it. And so I'll just you can see in that, but it's special to me because it really just kind of sets up his character.
Sweet. Let's roll the clip.
No, you don't. Anytime I can get a no, it's always my favorite.
You're so good at
8 no's.
Not the script.
It's good. It's not
Next,
the script that way though.
Next, we're gonna do yours next. Let's talk about.
Next. Ooh.
Yeah.
All right. I love this part. This was something that from the very beginning, it was in not the audition sides, but in the character breakdown of Paige masquerading as a boy in order to find her family. And who doesn't want to play Mulan, right? So it was something that I've been waiting for because I remember we were going back and forth. Is it going to happen episode 4, episode 7? And it was really exciting when we finally got to that part of the script where it was like, all right, how are we doing this? And I love how easy it is. Let's go. I love how easy it is for everyone to just be like, all right.
I think I had a take of that line too that was much more ridiculous than the one that made it in. There was definitely a take where I was like, Peach is a girl! They did not keep that one though, it was a little too rough.
But it was so funny.
It's the patented crack. It's the voice of difference. You gotta patent it.
All right, Josh.
All right. The thing that we know about Shiro, at least in the beginning, is that he seems like there's nothing wrong with him. He seems like perfect. He can do no wrong. He's a nice guy. He can kick butt. He's super. Yeah, he's like a god. And he's like a pal god. You're welcome. It's kind of, sometimes you think, is this guy, can he do no wrong? I mean, what's his deal? And in season 2, he meets somebody named Slav. And it's once meeting Slav that you start to see Shiro is not completely perfect. Shiro can get upset, and there definitely is a crack in that paladin armor. So with that being said, let's roll it.
I love Slav.
I'm not gonna lie, after watching that episode, I did avoid cracks for a little while. I like my mom, I don't really want her to fall. So.
Let's jump to the other Josh.
The Slipperies. You guys remember the Slipperies? Yes. I think Tim Hedrick came up with the Slipperies as Karan sweating too much and then slipping everywhere. And so every time I watch this clip that we're about to watch, I legitimately laugh. And I think, when you write a script and, it's funny to you for a second, but when you rewrite, it's not funny anymore. And so when it comes back and you laugh every time, and it's because, you know, I don't know who came up with the ice skating. You know, like
I want to say there was Steve.
Steve Vaughn directed it.
Definitely, as soon as Corinne had the slipperies, he had to use it for ice skating. But
Yeah.
Chang-il, who is one of our amazing storyboard artists, basically practically animated it in the storyboard, and it looked amazing.
It blows my mind, it makes me laugh, and Corinne's acting, the directing, it's plussed every time, and so when it comes back, it just makes me laugh, and so this is Corinne with the slipperies.
I think that the DBZ sort of sound effects definitely accentuate everything there as well.
And in that Dragon Ball Z moment where Corinne just flames on, his little like side panels on his pants come apart and they flap like little like tails, which was something that wasn't ever in the design, but the animators just added it. I think it probably was in Steve's
We
work.
had an original design where he had tails. He looked like a carnival barker kind of.
Yeah, he was super cute.
All right, Kimberly, what do you got for us?
It's my turn. This is funny actually, because Laura doesn't have, you know, there's not that many comic moments really for Laura, but we know a lot of stuff. We run that ship, but we haven't figured out the mystery of milkshakes. They're delicious, and we want more of them, but I think the clip is self-explanatory as far as our reaction to
I
it.
should have put this as my scene, to be honest, but yeah.
It's like our Black Mirror episode.
Totally.
Now, Joaquin and Lauren, the next thing about the show is I'm really excited to see. And it's one of those things where you guys get such great work, you know, out of the cast, and inevitably at some point, you know, you may need a thing or two. Can you sort of set this one up and how you sort of deal with getting the extra stuff that you need?
Yeah, so when we do the process of Voltron, we start with the script, we record it with the actors, then we do the storyboards, send it to me, or it gets animated. But sometimes during that storyboard process, we come to the realization that we might need some additional lines, some stuff to kind of explain stuff, maybe condense some lines, maybe a name gets changed, and we don't always have time to get the actors back in. So a lot of times it falls onto one of us to just put in some temporary dialogue.
Oh no.
Just kind of fill that space, and then they animate to it, and when we get the animation back, we have the actors replace the dialogue, and it sounds great. But in the meantime,
Scratch
we all get
tracks.
to watch some ridiculously horrible acting on behalf of like us and the whole storyboard crew, the director.
It's the entire staff. I mean,
Our editor.
assistants, editors,
Yeah.
everybody takes part in the scratch
It
track.
always breaks my heart a little bit to have to dub over it because it's just so beautiful.
I want to see a show of just this.
Yes.
I want to see a fully done episode where it's completely scratched.
Oh, we
It would be
thought
an
about it,
alternate
believe me,
reality.
we thought about it. And we handed out awards to the crew called the Scratchies for like the best.
Mitch Iverson had basically spray painted some back scratchers and then wrote like little scratchy awards on them. So
We've had 2 seasons of the Scratchy Award.
oh, that's awesome.
Everyone's winners.
So we're about to share a little scratch reel we put together. You guys. Woo.
That was
Starlight.
my favorites are the ones where it's like half our line and then like one word is just like changed.
Yeah, those are the best because those are the most jarring. You get lulled into a false sense of comfort, then you're like, oh, what just happened?
But those are actually, scratch ends up in screening sometimes, right? Where you're reviewing the process and it's like, ugh,
Yeah,
I don't
totally.
think this area is working.
Yes.
Okay, but really, who is the most fun? Like, if you need to do the scratch check, who's fighting for what character to do?
I think I would say the most popular amongst the actors is hearing director Steve Vaughn, who's not here today. He's the one that said, okay, calm down.
He's my favorite.
Yeah.
I remember Steve Young specifically, he was like, can I get that as my ringtone?
For real though.
Like, Eugene was all over that as well.
Kaltenegger, the Benjamin Kaltenegger did our move for Kaltenegger.
I gotta say, Joaquin does a pretty decent Shiro. That's probably why you didn't hear any of it, because it's not bad. Not that any of those were bad. Those were brilliant.
But it's that in a beautiful way.
I love just seeing like the male characters with like the very high pitched female voices and vice versa. It's so good.
Yeah, I love
So
it when
fun.
Lauren has to do like some of the Galra men. It's just so good.
It's not often. Usually we try to I'll force Joaquin to do all the guys, and then it's like, oh, well, now Paige needs a line. I'm like, oh, dang it. I have to get up and do a line, but
And they're usually happening pretty late at night.
usually we're not fighting to do a character, we're fighting, like, who has to do it now? You didn't do it in a long time, you go do it. And I'm ashamed of, like, our bad actors.
Yeah, the hardest thing is to be in the recording studio, and they're in the booth, and it'll get played back for them, and we can't really hear them because their mics are off, but they're just going like, oh! And them like pantomiming like the loudest laugh.
We love your voices.
We
think
try
you
to
guys are
apologize in
awesome.
advance as much as possible. And then, they have to watch what they say because we're right there. We're like, that was me, so don't say you hated it.
Well, I love it because it's like hearing your friend do their impression of you.
Yes.
And then we love it. We know it's all in good fun and we have a blast. It makes ADR sessions fun because a lot of it's so technical and you're having to punch in exactly at this right thing just to get like a word right or a sound or whatever. And when we have stuff like that, it makes the technical go away and we're just enjoying, like, it's like bloopers. It's like getting to watch bloopers. I love it.
Poor Reese gets it the worst because everyone tries to do their Korean accent, but no one ever does it right. And then Reese is just there insulted, like.
Jeremy's got a solid
Jeremy
line.
has it down.
Yeah,
Jeremy's got it.
Right, yes, princess.
King L4. Mechanic, they don't call me that for nothing. It's not the same thing, but it's different. All right. All hands on deck.
Can you do French for us? I'm so sorry, Reese. I'm so sorry if you ever seen this. I love you, buddy.
Guys, looking back a little bit on Seven, we're gonna get to your clips in a second, but was there ever a moment over the course of the series that when you got the script, you were genuinely shocked and surprised? Like, is there a moment you did not see coming?
I'm not allowed to say these things.
Hashtag no spoilers, season 8.
Hashtag this one. But the
Hashtag must
answer
wait
is
for
yes.
season
The
8.
answer is yes.
Yeah.
Nice.
As far as like stuff that's already happened in the show, I think we probably. I think that's the great thing about the show is they're not afraid to like go to some really really cool serious places and stuff. I mean the whole Shiro clone saga was really really awesome. Especially I love the episode where Keith is like fighting the clone Shiro and you see all the other clones that are like lining the facility and they're fighting. It's super good. Yeah.
I'd go so far as to say we were shocked by the Shiro clone storyline. We had a very different storyline in mind at first, but that's the interesting thing about the creative process is you get notes from different people and sometimes you have to take some unexpected turns, but it can make for some really unique and interesting storylines.
Nice. You guys have had a number of awesome guest stars. Can you talk to us a little bit about what that is like in terms of who gets to pick what and how it all fits in?
I mean, we sort of bat around ideas internally, and we have some pretty weird deep cuts that we're like obsessive with. And so what'll start out as, I don't want to say like a joke, like we're very serious when we discuss it internally, but then when we sort of have to bring that up to, the casting department and they're like, yeah, we're on board. We're like, whoa, is this happening? Is this really going down right now?
Yeah, I think Vince Shlomi, the ShamWow guy, was
you guys
one
might not be
where...
old enough for ShamWow, but that was a big
Look
one
it
for
up.
us.
That was one where we were basically casting the knife store owner in the mall, and we're just like, yeah, like the ShamWow guy, and Anya's like, Anya is our casting, the head of casting. And she says, you want to get Vince? And like her face lit up, and I was like, we can do that? Like, we're allowed to? And she's like, oh yeah. And then it happened, and we had Vince. We took a picture with him, and
So
everything.
it's like just a celebrity moment when he comes in to do it.
And he was like, I usually just like try one or two and then just do my own thing. We're like, dude, do whatever you want to do right now, Vince. Go to town.
Yeah. And Weird Al Yankovic was a huge hero from my childhood, as well as Paul Rubens, who is Pee Wee Herman, and two guys who are very close friends with Andrea Romano. So the perks of having a legend like Andrea Romano on your show is like you get in with all of her friends.
At some point it was 2 separate sessions, but we had, Reese and Paul Rubens sort of battling each other in the sort of Unaloo haggling sequence. And even though it was, I keep using this reference, but it was like the lake house of like back and forth. They were like in 2 different astral planes haggling with each other, but when it came together, we were like, oh, it's magical. It's beautiful.
Do you guys have any just sort of fun memories recording together? You guys have done, there have been so many just like awesome moments, but I can only imagine when you're there doing it in person, it's gotta be something special.
One of my favorites is just it's every single week is fun. It was always the highlight, at least for me, I think probably.
Oh, yeah.
It was always the highlight of my week to come and record, just because to see these people and hang out and make jokes between takes, and then just have fun trying to make each other laugh in the comedy bits, and then also have fun trying to make each other go, oh my gosh, that was so good. On the serious bits and all of it. One of the coolest things though was the first record where we had everybody there together for the very first time, like locked in cast, like okay, you guys are all it, here we go, and then hearing everybody do their characters, like the first full record, that everyone was like, it's gonna be something cool. This is good. They picked the right people. That's one of my favorites. And yeah, just ADR sessions are always fun too, because they're technical, but like you're saying, they're more loose too. So we'll just make lots of inside jokes and
Fart jokes.
Fart jokes.
Brown
Everybody's
Lion.
farting all the time at Voltron. All the time. No matter what, big fight. Really pivotal moment, really serious emotions happening. All the time.
that's my secret. Even like on the lines is like, especially for Lance's comedy bits, I know I'm doing my job right when I'm making my castmates in the booth laugh.
Yes.
And try to
Sitting there
stifle laughter.
shaking with laughter.
So that's like, okay, like I did my line right, good. They're laughing. That's what you're playing to. I'm not even playing to like just the broad sense of. I'm like trying to make him laugh. I'm trying to make Bex laugh. And if I do that, I'm like, cool.
I'd say the only downside to that is when you make somebody laugh so hard that like if they've got something around their neck and it starts.
Oh yeah.
Ding, 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 ding. We got to do it again, guys. We got chain rattle.
I gotta say, like, it's always my favorite thing when we get like a little bit too into speaking with each other and just reconnecting. And Andrea's like, okay, guys, we're working right now. You guys can talk in a minute. Just let us get through this. All right?
Like we're literally in a tape right now, and you're having a full conversation in the background.
There are
Everyone
microphones.
can hear you.
But you guys we're really good though, because it'll be talk, and you hear the beeps, we're about to go, and then all of a sudden everyone just stops.
Yeah.
And then the person does their line, and then
It's like, yeah, where did you get those shoes? I love that.
It's actually gotten to be
Did you
kind
get
of.
those from H&M?
Yeah.
It's like a choreographed ballet. Like even with motion, we'll be getting up and doing stuff, picking things up and beep, beep, beep. Okay.
yeah, that's pretty much our how we had our conversation.
I feel
Yeah,
like
exactly.
I've told this story before, but I freaked out Josh and AJ because we were in the middle of a conversation. I heard the beeps, they didn't. They were just luckily already quiet. So I'm in the middle of a conversation, go! And what was I saying? It just happened.
Yeah, I remember. I was trying to think of what I said to piss her off so much. Okay.
It was an angry line that I was saying.
Yeah, it was. It was very...
Yeah, like what I do.
Out of nowhere.
Sorry?
One of my favorite Andrea Romano stories that she tells is a story about Nolan North. And if you guys know who Nolan North is, he does Sam Holt and Commander Iverson. And so there's episodes where he's literally just talking to himself. And the guy is such a professional, he just goes straight through. He doesn't he's not like, oh, I'll do all of Sam, then we'll come back and I'll do all of Iverson. He's like, no, well, let's just do it. And so he's like, but earlier in his career, he's a super talkative guy. He's got all the stories. He kept interrupting like other people's takes while Andrea was recording him on something probably Justice League for Warner Brothers. Andrea had to send him out of the room. She's like, "You go sit in the hall, Nolan. Like, you're messing this whole thing up." He's a super professional. Doesn't do that anymore. I think that was much earlier, but
I just love that like Drake from Uncharted was like grounded.
It's funny that we all get paid to play make-believe, and we still have to have the parent that tells us when to stop playing and do our work.
We need the parent.
Yes.
I need an adult.
Guys, oh, sorry, go ahead.
Cree Summer is one of those characters who sideline an entire session because she's so funny and she'll just go off. And then, like, and Andrea has been friends with her for so long. Like, Andrea knows how to wrangle her, but she's just such a personality. Like, if in the wrong hands, that session will just get away from you. And you'll
Like Hagar.
back. Yeah.
Right.
Very much.
Cree is so cool.
All right, I'm gonna throw one more question, and then we're gonna get to these two clips. But guys, I got a question for you guys. How much of your characters is you now? In that your everyday lives, you feel you're
Space Dad. I'd say it's kind of evolved. Like when I first, basically, I have so many good memories from the show, but a lot of it's because it just kind of intertwined in really cool ways with my own life. And like when we first started the show, I had just become an actual dad, and so I had kind of made that weird transition where, you know, when you're young, you're living for yourself. You know, you're selfish in a good way or a bad way, whatever. But I mean, you're thinking of yourself, and this was the first time where I really had to, where I had the life of somebody else in my hands. I was responsible for, and it was a very new thing to me, and that's pretty much. I drew a lot of Shiro's dedication to his team from that feeling and emotion, and I mean that's really where it all came from. And I'd say, like, in real life, I'm probably closer to like Lance, because like I have insecurities.
He plays such a serious character, but he is so funny in between.
I'm all over the place.
Yeah.
I cover everything up with laughter and humor, and I love Lance for that because I relate to him. But I mean, yeah, I guess with age and with parenting and all that, like I've definitely become more of that space dad type of guy. You know, having to wrangle kids and all that. But yeah, no, that's me. And I've always told like bad dad jokes, so now I just get to revel in the fact that people like them because they're dad jokes.
I feel like over the course of being on this show, I've kind of hit most of the characters, which is weird. I've grown a lot as a person in 4 years, I'm proud to say. But I gotta say, like, if Pidge is Space Ace, I'm Space Case, so. I don't know. Pidge is so powerful in her own way, and she's so confident, which is so rare for someone so young. And I'm not sure if I've fully become the kind of Pidge that I want to be, but I feel like I'm getting there. You're Pidge. I call you Pidge all the time. I take it. I will take it.
Pidge affects. Well, I strive to be like Laura.
Queen, what are you talking about?
She's flawed, like, you know, all of these characters, but she has such a good heart, and that's really important to me. So I think she's beautiful and generous and smart and strong. So those are all things that I strive to be. Oh, thank you, honey. So I feel like I'm becoming more and more like Allura as the show has progressed. So
You've gotten the queenly wave down.
I've got the wave down.
Yes.
And it's just, I don't know, she's just so dear to, it's my favorite character that I've ever had the pleasure of an opportunity to voice. So she's amazing. I love Allura. And I remember, you know, I had no idea what Allura was going to look like for a while after we had done many, many sessions. And the first time that they showed me the artwork, I was so choked up. I just was blown away. Because first of all, I didn't even know that she was going to have, you know, what her skin was going to look like or any of those things. So I just felt really, as you guys blew me away with
Well, I mean, we're obviously blown away by all your guys' work, and as Allure, it's. I don't want to say that we have like take ownership of the characters. We obviously do from a creative standpoint, but when we hear your voice on anything else, we're like, why is Allure coming out of that person's mouth? What is going on right now? But yeah, it's been awesome.
And you go, Jeremy. You haven't gone yet. Right?
Well, I am Lance, I guess, so I didn't know if I needed to answer that. No, I think I even like, I kind of lean into his personality too in real life. I mean, like jokingly for fun, because he is such a goofball, and he is kind of that like a dorkable type person. And that is definitely me in real life as well. But I think he definitely has that sensitive, very loyal side to him, which I think I have as well. At least like the loyalty, like all my family and very friends I'm like super close with. So that's like definitely ways that I relate to him. And he's just fun. He's fun to play. I'm not like he tries to be very flirty, I guess, at times, and I'm not really like that way. Maybe like with my girlfriend, I'll try and say a flirty joke, and she's just like, good try, but keep trying, you know. So in that way, maybe, but yeah, I think that's what's fun to him. He's very relatable. He is a very loyal, sensitive person, and that's what I try to play on. And I like making people laugh. So that's what's fun about the character.
good at it.
Oh, stop it.
Sweet. So we gotta jump to the last two clips real quick, and then close this baby out. Lauren, what you got?
Yeah, so my clip isn't like a momentous moment in the series, but it's a moment that, to me, kind of embodies what our crew does when we come together like Voltron. It starts with an idea and a script, and then it goes through the storyboard process, and everyone kind of brings their thing to it to have it culminate in something that's so much more than it ever needed to be. And so this is the moment where they shoot Fun Century out into space.